Welcome back to Jeff Koinange live at the Intercontinental Hotel. The show is being shown on both KTN and KTN News. Tonight, what a guest. Outgoing Swiss ambassador to Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, Somalia, and Seychelles, Jacques Pitteloud. Been in town the last 5 years, which is quite impressive for an ambassador. They usually don't stay that long. Maybe he has some insights. We're talking about everything from insecurity, corruption, you name it. This man has his finger on the pulse. My Twitter handle at Koinange Jeff. The hashtag is JKL. Balozi, past weekend, not too long ago, Gatundu Member of Parliament Moses Kuria came out and told the people they should bring their pangas and they should not use them just for slashing. In any language, no matter where you are, Balozi. I mean, that's hate speech in any language. And when you look around, yes, a little noise was made in the media, social media, you name it, but that was about it. You were in Rwanda in 1994, 1 million people slaughtered in 100 days, and then you hear talk like this in the 21st century. Your thoughts?
My thoughts would be, I would have a message for Mheshimiwa. Mheshimiwa, if you're listening, you know, yes, pangas can be used for other things than slashing. I've seen it, I've been there. And I spent 10 years of my life going after the guys who had done it and delivering them to the International Court in Arusha. Hate speech is just inexcusable. Inexcusable. And not many years after what happened in 2008, to have that kind of language is just unacceptable, and I hope that the Kenyan authorities are going to do whatever is necessary to make sure it never happens again. And that would be my message.
That's a great message, strong message, Balozi. But you know, in this being Kenya, it makes a little bit of noise, and then we move on to the next thing. Isn't that unfortunate?
On this one, it shouldn't. It shouldn't, because this was a clear hate speech, calling people to go and kill. Once again, you know, taking those poor people who probably don't know exactly what they are doing or they have been paid, and then you animate them to take their pangas and go and kill somebody. This is just plainly unacceptable. So you can't just move on. You can't just move on. If you don't put a stop to this kind of hate speech, sooner or later it will become, you know, the kind of things that are acceptable. That's what it was in Rwanda in 1991, 92, 93, yes. Leon Mugesera and all the others who were saying, you know, we are going to send you back to Ethiopia through the rivers, we'll send you back to where you belong, we should work a bit and get rid of the bad weeds and whatever. And then they did.
And they followed through.
And it was really, really horrific.
Look, describe for people who have no concept, because 21 years later, a lot of people are either unaware or have forgotten. What was it like then?
Hundreds of thousands of innocent people were macheted to death, burnt alive. You would walk over bodies, drive over bodies. You would see dead children all over the place, or children next to their dead mother, just crying and waiting to die. You would hear and that's for me the worst memory, my personal worst memory, the cries of the people who were being chased by the Interahamwe. You know, and in the Interahamwe they had these whistles.
Yeah.
And so they would whistle to coordinate the hunt, and human beings were being hunted like animals. This is just absolutely. I remember standing next to the waterfall at Rusumo, and I was trying to find out how many people had been killed, and I was counting how many bodies were coming down the waterfall per minute. And you would see these bodies coming from far away and then jumping the waterfall, and the crocodiles had a field day down there. This was Rwanda 1994. I mean, how can somebody who is old enough to remember this speak about pangas? I just don't understand.
Yeah.
It
makes no sense, huh?
Oh no, it doesn't.
21 years later, has justice been meted out on the genocidaires, or has justice prevailed?
As I said, I spent 10 years trying to catch some of them and bring them to Arusha. I think that the best possible justice has been meted out. I mean, we are humans, it's not perfect. I think that the gacaca system that was introduced in Rwanda, which was a traditional system, it was not perfect, but in a country that was totally destroyed, all institutions had been destroyed. The only way was to resort to this kind of popular courts. I have family in Rwanda, and you know, to to see people who, yes, did kill members of our family, and now they're walking free because they did their 5 years or their 10 years, is difficult, but in the end you have to move on. What is extremely important, anywhere you go where these kind of horrific events have taken place, it's the recognition of the suffering of the victims. There is nothing worse than just, moving on without any kind of justice. The final justice will be meted out by somebody else.
Absolutely.
But,
so are you saying with the ICC, with the PEV, the victims will never get justice?
Obviously, it looks very unlikely that anybody would be convicted, though 2 people are still in the dock. And of course, I can imagine that for the victims, to be told, oh guys, we just have to move on. The fact that your kid was burned alive in the church, or the fact that your guy was slashed to death, it's a political incident. It's not that important, but we just have to move on. I think it must be very painful. Especially if you're living under a plastic sheet since 2008.
Yeah, absolutely. Terrible. 5 years that you've been here, there's always been reports that Kabuga was in town. Kabuga was being held somewhere. We don't know for sure, we're not sure, but we know for a fact he was in Kenya for a while. Would you have wanted to hunt him down?
He was for sure in Kenya for a while. Was he here last year when probably some people know? I don't for sure. I have no certainty. He has grown into a symbol. He was not the main genocidaire, but he's grown into a symbol because he has escaped justice for such a long time. I would have personally very much liked to see him go to Arusha or to The Hague. I would have loved it. I think it has become much more difficult now. And he's getting old.
He is getting old.
He's getting old. Yeah.
Maybe he's got less money now than before.
Speaking of Kabuga, I remember when I was investigating his case, I was the one who found the delivery and the bills for the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of machetes that were then used, and they were it was then. So that's also a message. You can speak about machetes, you can order machetes, but one day we'll get back at you because we'll find the bills. Well,
even the M-Pesa.
Even the M-Pesa. M-Pesa is very useful for investigations. Yeah, it is.
Listen, let's switch gears. Corruption. This country, it's endemic. It's a way of life. It's like gospel now. Everybody's out there eating, stealing as much as they can. Let's call it what it is. And it's not getting any better. The president may have the will, he may have all the means necessary, but the people out there who don't give a damn.
But now I have to stop you. He might have the will, and I think he has the will, but he doesn't have all the means necessary. The times of the all-powerful presidency, you would just have to press a button and things would happen. It's not there anymore. And in the meantime, the system has grown or has become quite rotten at all echelons, all let's say parts of the system of the procedure. So it's very difficult to ensure that there will be no intervention that will derail the process from the moment you start with an investigation to the moment it goes to the ACC, then to the DPP, and then to the justice system. In the case of Anglo-leasing, the president has demonstrated an incredible willingness to force the system into doing its job. I have to say clearly, everything we did, the cooperation was exemplary. All organs of the executive have been doing their job absolutely perfectly, and also the cooperation with Switzerland. Now, we are entering the judicial phase. It's out of the executive's possibility of influencing. There it's the judiciary. It will be for the judiciary to do its job. I am personally absolutely convinced that we have staked so much credibility on this particular case. Why did we choose this particular case? Because it was a symbol. Somebody has to be convicted. Hundreds of millions of dollars have been stolen from the Kenyan taxpayers, and if somebody can go to jail, it will be a first small chink in the armor of impunity in this country. It will be a sign. Well, why don't we have the same level of corruption in countries like Switzerland? Or because we are better? No, certainly not. But because if you are corrupt, the chances of you being caught are pretty high. If you're caught, there is no escape. You'll go to jail. So people tend to behave because there is a big stick out there. Here, impunity being what it is, why should the people bother?
Are you trying to get some of the money, the money that's been expatriated, are you trying to get it back?
Yes, we are trying. Now, one has to be absolutely realistic. We're dealing with Kenya. And what do Kenyans want when they have money?
The one good
Land.
stuff, yeah.
Land. Where? In Kenya. So yes, Switzerland was one of the financial sectors that was used to channel the money, the Anglo-leasing money, somewhere, but it all came back to Kenya. So you want to repatriate the money? I could give you a few addresses of very nice hotels, very nice houses in Muthaiga, where there would be quite a lot of money to be repatriated. It's here, it has been repatriated.
Right,
yeah, but so we still have, we have frozen 2 million euros. But you know, 2 million euros compared to what was stolen is a joke.
How much was stolen, like?
But it's several hundred millions. It all depends how you analyze the contracts, whether they were fulfilled or not fulfilled or half fulfilled.
Is it true you were trying to make a deal with one of the key suspects in Anglo leasing?
There is no question that both the Kenyan judicial authorities and the Swiss authorities would have preferred, you know, to go to a deal instead of going through the whole judicial process, because it's a lot of money and of time spent, and it would have been easier for us, but also for them, because now they're facing the music. And I think many people within the Anglo-leasing complex they just didn't believe that it would happen. They were just laughing at us.
Are you saying someone's going to be arrested?
I mean, some have already been there, but they're going to, the first hearing is on the 20th of July. The first hearing is on the, so people have been charged. It's the first time in Kenyan history that people have been charged. Now, what the justice system will do, what the judiciary will do, will depend on quite a number of factors, of course, but at least, you know, we're there. And I know that there are some people who are quite often at the Karen Country Club, they are laughing and saying, hey, in 1 week by now, this guy will be gone, and then the pressure will not be there anymore. They are mistaken. They are sorely mistaken. The pressure will still be there.
So in the end, Kenyans will see some architects of Anglo leasing go to jail or convicted.
That is my hope and that is my belief. I think that the president has demonstrated a clear political will to really go after these guys. We know how difficult it is. We know how difficult it is, but this time at least we have a serious chance. We have a fighting chance. All the other times there never was a chance, because somewhere along the way somebody will be talked nicely to. You know,
and what message does this send to present thieves, for lack of a better word?
To present thieves, it sends a clear message that absolute impunity is not the order of the day anymore. You might escape justice, but you might also go to jail. It never was the message before. You knew you would never go to jail. Now you have a chance to go to jail. That's a big difference.
Yeah. What about freezing assets? You know, like you say, houses in Muthaiga, hotels around Nairobi and Kenya.
Here it's for the Kenyan justice system to freeze assets. Some of the people involved in the Anglo-leasing scandal have also assets abroad. And believe me, it's going to get cold out there.
You all know where they are?
Of course we do. Of course we do. And of course they think they can, you know, move money around and then, you know, fake societies and front companies and you name it. You know, nowadays you can follow the money.
Ambassador, I like that. That's very comforting for us.
Yeah, it is. But you will have probably to wait quite a long time before the money is repatriated.
Oh, really?
But, no, not ours, not our 2 million euros.
The rest.
But the rest, the big money.
Yeah. And you know the names?
Yes. But since I don't want you to go to committee, I'm not going to say the name. That's not going to happen, you know, because I'll be safely back in Switzerland, and then you're in committee, and I have to buy chocolate and oranges and send them to Kenya. I won't do that. You know, that's not happening. Not happening. No.
I appreciate that.
Please.
So, we're going to take a break, come back. Let's talk about your best moments in Kenya.
Yeah.
And of course, the challenges that we face going forward. All right. Swiss outgoing Swiss Ambassadors Committee chocolates. The Swiss chocolates?
Oh, sweet, of course. Of course. What else?
Of course.
Yeah.
He's been here for the last 5 years, sharing his insights, his thoughts, his perspectives on Kenya and the region. during his stay here. Looks like you really like this place, didn't you?
I love it. I'll cry bitter tears when I leave this country.
Don't cry here, man. Don't cry here.
No, I won't.
Okay.
I won't because, you know, people look back at it on television. Yeah.
Chef Koinange Live takes another break. We'll be back. Plenty more in a moment.